Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. It's still physics time! Oh man, I just... Every time I come on and check things again, I am just always so happy at how much better everything looks. I mean, I didn't even do that much with her arms here, and it's like... Look how much better it all looks now. Look at all that. It's great. I love it. It makes me so happy. So, I'm gonna go into the sleeves of her shirt today. So I'm actually gonna hide her coat for that. And her head too. I'll give her head back later, it's fine. Actually, I need to hide her legs too. She doesn't need legs right now, it's fine. There we go. Now I can see both her arms very clearly. She's just gonna be a floating torso for a moment. But yeah. Now it's time to get those sleeves and make all of this nice and floppy. And then I think it should look pretty good. I'm just always so excited to come in and do physicsy things. They're just so much fun. I never want to stop. Okay. So, let me reset my parameters here, and we'll just go ahead and get into what I want to do with the sleeve here. So I'm gonna have to actually specify that when I say sleeve here, I mean shirt sleeve, because I can't confuse that with the coat sleeve, which I just called sleeve, and that was probably a mistake. So I'll just call this basic. We're just gonna make things... We're just gonna move things around a bit and call it good. Well, let's see here. So there's the shirt. Where do I put her sleeves? I think I have that, like, in arms. Yeah, here we are. Alright. So yeah, I think I can get away with at least keeping this parameter very, very, very simple. So I think all I'm gonna do is... There's lots of like little folds and stuff on her shirt here. So I think all I really want to do is try to imagine where her arm is in here. And the sleeves look pretty loose. So that tells me that I should move the edges over just a touch. Just gonna move everything over to the left a little. Most of this is gonna be covered up by her coat, so I don't think I'm gonna do anything too fancy. I'm not gonna do like all those special twists and stuff that I did with her coat. But we'll give it a little something. Just a little something. Enough for a little wiggle. Okay, and then I had the seam separated on her coat, which would be great if I was doing twists. But in this case, I'm just gonna line it up with how I did the rest of the movement here. Really, it might be fun to come back to this in like a couple of years and think about doing all those fun things that the me cutting things out was thinking about. But just couldn't quite do yet. Okay, no, this part actually comes way out there. Okay. I keep thinking that the seam is actually closer to the shadows than it actually is. So I gotta make sure I'm moving it enough. Unfortunately, it's just the kind of thing I have to check piece by piece. I do wish there was an easier way, but this is fine. I say, as I cannot find the right location to get it started. Okay, there we go. Now it's good. And now I can just kind of follow that all the way down. Just gotta take it nice and slow. And I think the next time I try to move this around, I'm move both those layers together. Hello there, Yeji Kitty. Yeah, next time I'm just gonna select both layers instead of doing it like this. Okay. I'm not sure if raisins will make you a genius, but it's not like they're bad for you or anything. Do you like raisins? Oh, good. Well, in that case, enjoy your snack. I see. Well, I'm glad that you can eat some yummy food. Alright, there we go. Now it's all lined up. That's probably more than close enough. So I'm just gonna move some more of these folds around just a little bit. Try not to move the shadow here because I don't have to line up the, the seam again. Okay. Just want to get a little bit of movement in here. Okay, I think that's fine. So let's see, what do I have here in terms of layers? Okay. So this one doesn't have any annoying seams or anything, so I'll just move the whole thing. I'm actually not really much of a fruit eater. Although, to be fair, I don't eat much in general. Right now, I just want a physics. I love working on physics. It makes me incredibly happy. I love watching her bounce around when I move when I move her around now. It's a great time. Okay, so this is the area that actually matters, because this is actually going to be where parts that show that most of this is not going to be covered up by the coat. I think the back area by her elbow is, but all the stuff out here is not. So I want to make sure that is moving just right. That said, I still want her arm to connect to her elbow, just because it'll bother me if it doesn't. Yeah. It's a nice little ladybug. Alright, let's get these folds just moving where I want them. I want these ones to move over quite a lot. Well, relatively speaking. I see. I'm actually kind of surprised, because most of the time they avoid people. I'd like to get a little bit more movement in her elbow area. So let's move some of these over just a touch more, and I think I'm going to move kind of the same area up here too. We're just gonna move everything over to the left here. I see. Alright, I like this. So now I'm gonna do the cuff here. How do I want this to move? Part of that is going to be in the kind of these areas in the back, but first, definitely gotta just... Let me grab the button too, actually. What are you? Okay. Gotta grab this and just kind of push it forward a little bit. I'm gonna pull this a little forward too. Once again, I'm not like overly concerned about the realism of the movement here as long as it feels very left moving, because I think that'll look better in the long run. I love my hair too. It is probably my favorite part of my design. Thank you. Do I have bangs in real life? No. But I do have very long hair in real life. My hair is actually longer in real life than it is in my character. Not by much, but it is longer. Okay, yeah, that should be good. I'm just gonna tweak some more areas around the edge here. Once again, we have these little kind of peaks there that I kind of want to move around. Yeah, hair does that sometimes. Sometimes it just gets kind of bleached by the sun. Okay, now I feel like I can start moving the back parts around. Yeah, I mean, everyone has interesting things about them. Man, why do I keep doing that? I'm gonna have to watch that again. I'm moving things to the corners when I shouldn't be. I get so focused on checking my movement here that I don't realize that I've accidentally drifted into the corner and I am now selecting the corner keyframe. Do not want to do that. Alright. I want less of this to show, but still want it actually connected to her sleeve. There we go. Okay, I think once I adjust these folds here, this will actually look pretty good. Congrats! What'd you do? Good job. Sounds like you've been working hard. Well, I mean, that's all the more important. It means that you've been actually keeping up with what you've been learning as opposed to just preparing for tests. And that's probably more important than preparing for tests that you know are coming. Alright. Yeah, I like this. Okay. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the other arm. Like, most of this is covered by the coat, so I'm not going to go too hard on it. Probably even less hard than what I was doing before. And this time, I'll remember to select the seam, too. The shirt seam. So this way I could move them together. There we go. This will be easier than trying to move the seam afterwards. Just move them on together. It's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do. School is more important than watching anime girls on the internet. Depends on the situation. I'll say overall it's fine, yes. Yeah, that should be fine. Might bring a little bit more towards your armpit there. Well, thank you. I hope you have a nice day. Good luck with your studies. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, yep, I think that is fine. Just gonna keep everything on this arm pretty simple. So then it's all divided the same way, right? Sure is. Okay. I'll do this one first. I think that the sleeves here are gonna require probably just 2 parameters. The one that I'm doing now, definitely 3 at most. The one that I'm doing now, and then something to make like the cuff in this area and kind of these areas a little bit more floppy. And if I want some extra floppiness kind of through some of these other areas, or if I want extra floppiness on the cuff, then I'll put in a 3rd. But I think 2 should do it. We'll see if I am right. For now, I am excited because this is like the last major part of her upper body. Her waist is somewhat visible here, so I'll include some physics based on that eventually. Just a little bit on like her belt loops and the parts of the belt that you can see and stuff. But it's kind of exciting to think about that I am basically finishing the parts that most people will see if anybody decides to make VTuber Shalom. Part of me still a little bit sad that using copyrighted characters like this is a do-at-your-own risk. But at the very least, just as a fun little project to learn a bit more about rigging, this has been absolutely wonderful. I really had no idea what I was getting into when I started this. But you know it's a good time because I've already said I want to do it again. I really do. Okay, this seems okay. Let's go ahead and do the cuff now. I'll just go ahead and get the button too. Button's probably not going to move that much. And we'll just push everything nice and over to the left. Everything. All of it. I'm not going to quite go to her hand. Gonna leave a little gap there. I think that'll make it look a little bit nicer. Dangnabbit. Put it in the corner again. It keeps happening. Alright, I'm gonna have to make sure I pay a bit more attention here. I'm just gonna check before I start actually moving stuff around and make sure that I am in the right place before I arm my parameters. Gotta watch for those things sometimes. Man. I think last time it kept happening too. Okay, how does this look? Yeah, I think that should be pretty good. Unfortunately, this isn't one that I can really just mirror everything to the other side, so I gotta do each point. I gotta do each point manually. A little bit inconvenient, but it'll be okay. I just noticed here that I wanted to move some of the stuff around her elbow a little bit more. Elbow looking a little bit stiff. Yeah, elbow's still looking a little bit stiff. Okay, this is why I always check these things before moving on to the next parameter. No, well, not the next parameter. The next keyframe. Yes. It's true. I do check it before moving on to the next parameter, too, though. That was not what I was talking about in this case. Alright. I think that's gonna look pretty good. Yay. Okay. Let's do the right now. I'm already scrolled up to this area, so I guess I'll do this side first. Just get my big old brush and just start pushing everything over to the right side this time. Make sure that those bigger bundles of sleeve are moving a little bit more. And I'm trying to picture where her arm is in all of the sleeve. And make sure that I never go past that point. So we're gonna wiggle all of these folds here. I'm just gonna move on over. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's go do the next bit. Not being overly picky here. I'd rather not spend an eternity on something that's going to be mostly covered by the code. I just want there to be enough wiggle to be interesting. So that this way, when the sleeve shows through the coat and all of that's wiggling, it'll look nice. It will not just look stiff and sad. Because physics gotta be wiggly, you know? It's gotta move around, have a good time. And everything's gotta be wiggling. It's kind of like, well, I do plan on doing a little bit of physics on the lower body, even though I don't really move it. It'll just be a little bit. And I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I plan to do a little bit more on all of this than I do on the lower body, just because, you know, this is kind of in frame. I guess this arm really isn't, but this arm definitely isn't. It is, rather. This arm definitely is. My mind is like extra dyslexic today. Doesn't know what it's thinking. It's okay, as long as I can actually do the arting, it'll be fine. And so far, I think that's going pretty well. My brain may be putting things on the wrong keyframes occasionally, but in terms of how things are actually moving, it's fine. Honestly, my opinion is that if your brain isn't being at least a little loopy while doing art, you're doing something wrong. You gotta have the chaos in your art. Okay, that looks good. Let's do the cuff here. Once again, just moving everything on to the right. I will flop the free part of the cuff here a little bit, because I think that'll look good. I'm just gonna pull all of this on out. Yeah, the cuff itself is definitely gonna require an extra parameter to look good. I know exactly how I want to do it. I can see it in my head. I'm already excited to do it. Love physics. Okay, let's go ahead And put these back parts into place now, and that should be good for this. I think that's all this needs. I don't think that's right. Oh. Actually, it's pretty dang close. Okay. I was looking at him just like, is that really right? And turns out, yeah, kinda. It actually kinda is. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the other arm now. This is the one I'm more excited about. Honestly, when I was cutting all this out, I was just like, man, this is going to be so much fun to do physics on. Part of me is actually a little bit sad that I'm not going to do the proper coat toggle that I wanted to do at the beginning. But there are too many shenanigans. And I don't really want to be working on this for another year, so... That's why I said it might be fun to revisit this model in like a year or something. When I've gotten better at rigging and maybe I can actually do some of the things that my ambitious mind thought about. Okay. I'm just gonna adjust the armpit here because I want to make sure that her armpit is, like, connected to her body. That seems important. You don't really want your various body parts to be just floating in space. That seems terribly uncomfortable. So I'm just making some adjustments based on that, and then I'm gonna hold some of these folds just a bit more. Oh shoot, I did not have the seam grabbed. Okay. There we go. Like I said, I want to move the sleeve and the seam together so that this way I don't have to get that seam into place separately. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and do this part. The part that I am probably most excited about. This part and the cuff. Because, man, once I have this done, and I actually go and put it on the live model, that's just going to be great. It is. I'm so excited. I'm actually hoping today. It's like I was thinking about doing the coat before I did the rest of her, like, waist and stuff. But I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and do everything today that would appear on the waist-up version of the model that I'm using. Like, you can see her next to me. Just everything that would appear on that. So that would include all the stuff in the waist area and a little bit of her build. Part of me is just also kind of looking forward to doing the coat because I think it'll be fun. The parts that flop around a lot are always a lot of fun, and there's like several different belts on the coat, and then there's the way it hangs down like a cape, and that's gonna be all floppy, and there's lots of things to be excited about there, so that's why I keep wanting to work on it. But no, I think that being able to look over to the side here, because I have OBS on a second monitor, and I just look over occasionally and see how she's looking and if there's anything that I kind of want to adjust. And I think having all that just basically finished will be a bit more fun than even just doing all the floppy bits of the code. So I guess I'll try to get all that done today. See how it all works out. Like, I'm taking my sweet time with the sleeve here just because I actually do think that this part is pretty important. But so far, I think it's going pretty well. I am pretty happy with how things are going, so I think the stuff at our waist will be pretty straightforward. So I would like to try. So there you go. That's my goal for today. Let's go in and do all the parts that will show up on my, I don't know, test. I don't know what to call it, but on the Shalom that sits next to me. Well, we'll get all the parts that you can see on the Shalom that sits next to me. That seems like a good goal for today. I'll just bounce in my chair slightly because I'm excited. Alright, I think once I get these back pieces into place, let them move along with the rest of the shirt, then that'll be it for this angle, or this keyframe. I try not to call them angles because I'm not necessarily moving things in terms of angles anymore. It's just physics. Everything is physics. Oh no. Okay, I can't be that floppy. I totally missed that I was cutting off her arm. Okay, we rein that in. Oh no. You saw nothing. Oh, whoops. I grabbed the wrong layer. I grabbed the wrong layer. I meant to grab the button. There we go. Whoop. Like I said, you saw nothing. Nothing happened here. Nothing. There is no floating arm here. Don't worry about it. Maybe I should have made the arm a little bit longer. It's always hard to know how much I should redraw for filling in some of the voids, so this way I can do the kind of movements that I want. And in this case, looks like I did not draw quite enough, so I kind of have to pay attention to the edge there. So I gotta make sure that the sleeve here covers it all up. I don't want to move her arm on the physics here. Honestly, probably would be fine if I did. But I just don't want these little, like, bandage wraps on her wrist to look super physicsy. Only mildly physicsy, and I already have the physics on them done. I did it when I worked on the arms. Alright, now I'm just double checking everything and doing the last bit of cleanup. Just making sure that everything is exactly how I want it to be. I always enjoy watching things wiggle a bit while I'm checking it. It makes me happy. I just think that there's so many things to be happy about today. It's a good day to be alive. Yeah, just checking out everything before I go and do the top and bottom. Especially stuff around this sleeve. Because this one will be the most visible. Okay, actually I don't like what I just did there, so let's back that up. And we will change it here. Just noticing that a couple little folds here got buried. And I want to pull them back out. There we go. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and do up and down. So, as usual, up is actually going to push everything downward. Which seems a little counterintuitive at first, but it makes sense, I promise. You just gotta think of someone jumping. Think about how their clothes move when they jump. So move everything a little bit inward here. Inward and down. Oh shoot, I didn't, Okay. I want to grab the seam. I don't want to have to set the seam separately, so let's just do it again. Setting the seam separately that first time was painful, and I don't want to do it again, so... Let's just try again. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let me just reattach her shoulder there. And then I think that this is fine. Got a nice little... I don't know, little wiggle. Little wiggle is all I'm really going for in the end. Alright. It's another fun part. We're gonna cave in some of these mountains a bit. And really fluff out the bottom. Kind of trying to see where her arm is. It looks like it's kind of... honestly, I'm not quite sure what's going on in there. But it's probably something like this. And then her elbow is probably like somewhere here. And yeah. Makes sense to me. So I'm gonna go push this close to where I think her arm is. I'm gonna still let it have a bit of volume. Somewhere through there. And I think that should be pretty good. Let's move things slightly inward. See, in this case, I'm not moving it to the left. I mean, it's moving to the left, but the way I'm thinking about it is it's moving closer to her center. So on the other side, I will move it in the opposite direction. It'll move a little bit further to the right. Yeah. I like it. I think I'm gonna move this bottom part a little bit more, but at least the parts with these big mounds of folded cloth, I like this. This is great. Just gotta keep going now. Oops. Little slip of the hand there. So I'm gonna move this down a little bit more so it looks like the cloth that went into these mountains are now coming down here on the bottom. Hanging off her arm a little bit more. Yeah. Just kind of like that. And I guess while I just fold all this into place, I have more amusing kid stories. My daughter was watching YouTube the other day, and it was doing a gimmick of good kid versus bad kid. And one of the things that the bad kid did is that the good kid was having a birthday party, and she was thinking of a wish for when it was time to blow out the candles on her cake. And the bad kid got sick of waiting for her to think of something and blew out the candles for her. And my daughter was very upset by this. Like, extremely. Like, the bad kid had been doing a bunch of kind of mean things throughout the entire thing, but this was the first one that made her shout at the screen. She was very mad. And I just thought that was adorable that, of all the things, that's what set her off. Like, I think that the segment before that had the bad kid using his sister's dolls' heads as a broom. Like, he put them all, took off all their heads, had their hair facing down, and put them on a stick. And was using that as a broom. And even that didn't set her off quite as much as, him blowing out the candles on her birthday cake. And I just thought that was funny. The thing is that will upset a 5-year-old. She is so cute, man. I cannot get over how cute she is sometimes. Alright, I think I just about got it. I always like to spend a little bit of extra time on this area in particular. Just because this is gonna be the spot most visible once all is done. So I want to make sure that it's very good and that all is well. So I'm letting the cuff kind of sit on her arm there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now I just gotta get the back parts on and I can do the other arm. There we go. That one's always nice and simple. Just gotta line it up. This one, I'm never quite sure what to do with it, but I just do something, and I think it's okay. Sometimes things just work out like that. Okay, there we go. Let's do the other arm. Where is it? I lost track of my notes again. Okay, here it is. There's a lot of them, so it's easy to get lost. I don't think that there will ever be a day that I do not get at least a little bit lost in all the layers. So I'm just gonna casually kind of push things down and to the right just a bit here. Move it kind of towards your core. Alright, looks good to me. Let's attach the elbow. That one I just wanted to keep pretty simple. This one's kind of hanging, so I'm not quite as worried about where it rests on her arm or anything. I'm just adding enough for a nice bit of wiggle. Don't really have to pay attention to a lot of the stuff that I did on the other arm. Just gently pushing everything downward. Okay, I think I want a little bit more wiggle on these kind of mounds here, but other than that, seems okay to me. Just keeping it nice and simple. It looks like I might have to do a little bit of extra work to connect them because it looks like the shadow is not lining up quite right anymore. No. I think it's fine. Okay. So I can just casually make sure that all the little folds here are moving down enough, and that should be enough. I just don't want any of them to look like they're getting stuck on something. And right now a couple of them kind of look that way in my opinion. Okay, now I just want to make sure that her shoulder's attached because I noticed while I was looking around there that it is not. There we go. All that needed to happen there. Alright, let's do the cuff. Cuff is definitely the most fun part. The parts that just flop around a bunch are always the most fun part. just push it inward just a touch. Kind of like this. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to be fun. It's like I could adjust the shadow on her wrist, but I don't think it makes that big of a difference. I think this is fine. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's make sure that it's attached to where it needs to be on her sleeve there. So after all, even though I have these layers separated so that I can move them around like this, they should not be separated within the world of the picture. This cuff is supposed to be attached to the shirt. They're not just floating layers like they are in the reality of rigging. So I do want to make sure that they connect at the right points. And just like now, it's time to connect the backside. So I need to make sure that all of these points are connected too. Keep everything within the world of the picture nice and consistent. This is why I often describe art as creating a universe, because ultimately, within the world of the picture, anything can be. And everything can look how you want it to look. Okay, still a couple of things I want to adjust, both in this area and up here. I want the cuff to be a little bit longer here. I'm actually going to check that before I move the back side into place again. Okay, yeah, I like that a little bit better. Oh, sneeze. Phew. Alright, just push this little guy into place, and then there was a spot up on the elbow here. Just this dark spot I did not feel like was moving downward enough. And I thought it looked a little weird, so I thought that I would come and fix it up just a little there. Okay, but that seems good. So, one more to go. And this one will move up and kind of out. So I guess I'll start here again, since this is the area that I was just working, and we'll just casually kind of do this kind of motion. Up and out a bit. Oh shoot, I forgot to grab the seam. I don't want to move them separately, so that was an easy enough movement to do, so I'll just do it again. It is not a big deal. Alright. Let's just attach it to her armpit once more, and I think that should be fine. Oh yeah, that'll be nice and floppy. Okay. So here. Yeah, I'll just do the same thing. Up and kind of outward. So now I have these fun little parts to worry about. I so look forward to putting this on a pendulum. Man. Just watching it go already, I'm just like, come on. Be done so I can make you real. It'll be fantastic. Trust me. Okay, I thought I saw something wrong with how something around the elbow was connecting. That might have been on the other keyframes, but nope, the other ones were fine. All is well. Okay, and this part I'm not worried about because once I get the cuff in place, it's going to be covered up. So that'll just give me a good idea of where this cuff needs to go. So we're just going to really move this whole thing. It's going to go up there, man. I'm going to send the edge just up there. All right. Oh yeah, like that stretch. So, even though stretching the cuff there isn't like realistic or anything, I think that it'll make the animation look better, and therefore I'm doing it. Because how nice and bouncy and energetic the animation looks is the important part here, not how realistic it is. And I think just a little bit of stretching will make it a little bit nicer. This guy's really got to get up there too. We're just gonna be bouncing everywhere today. It's gonna be great. Oh no, I overdid it. Okay, I must restrain myself. So I'll go ahead and grab all these layers and make sure that her hand is actually covered up there. It's hard when you gotta restrain yourself. Is that okay, though? A little bit questionable right there. Let me see if I can get a slightly better coverage here. Just let that area, that side flop a little bit more while the rest still sits on top of her wrist there. Yeah, I don't think that looks disembodied, so I will call that good. Alright, let's take another look. Alright, just gotta attach it to her shoulder. And I think I'll make this part flip just a little bit more. How are all the inner folds as well? I didn't check them super closely. Yeah, I think they're good. Alright, let's attach it to her shoulder, and I'll do the other arm. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. They like to hide from me. I can't help it. They're just really good at hiding, guys. All the layers. Surprisingly wily for inanimate objects. Okay. So now I do the same on the other arm. Just gonna move things up and kind of outward. Something like this. And I got a couple little floppy parts here that I really want to make sure move nicely. Oh shoot, I didn't get the seam again. Oh man. What are you called? Shirt sleeve, lower right. Oh no, you must be lower left. Or upper left, yes. Okay. I want to move all these the seam together. I forgot many times, but it's worth just doing it again. Because this is so much easier than trying to do them separately. Okay, that should be good. I'll attach it to her shoulder later. I just want to do all that at the end. And we're just gonna bounce these little hills around. Make everything super lively. Okay, so now I'm just kind of worried about some of these interior folds. I think the mountains are doing well. So I'll just go ahead and move some of those little interior folds now. Really push them around. Oh man, I'm a little sad. The store didn't have my usual snack, so I've been substituting with other things. It just today I didn't want to eat like a whole bagel, like I've been the past couple of days. And now I'm actually a little bit hungry. It's okay. I'm determined. I'm determined to finish everything above her waist here. I think I can do it. I will take extra care not to rush because I'm a little bit hungry. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and attach things to her shoulder now. I said I was gonna save it for the end, but I changed my mind. I actually probably do want the seam for this as well. Let's just go ahead and attach that. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now it is time for the cuff. I hate that I put the cuff button and then this back piece in a different order on my left and right arm. I hate it. I wish I took a moment to double check and put them all in the same order, so this way I wouldn't be getting it backwards so often. Okay, now be careful not to overdo it. We cannot let the arm be exposed there. Very important. The arm must be covered up by the cuff. I think that's good. And, oops. No rotation there. We just go in and attach. Just like that. These little back parts tend to be super easy, so I always appreciate that. Thank you, past self, for separating them well for me. You did a good job. See, this is why you should do something nice for your future self every day. Help him out. Your future self will thank you. Even if you don't always your future self can't always capitalize on the things that your past self did. Like, I'm not making a strong use of some of these little things that I had separated out. It's okay. I still thank my past self for it all. She did a good job. Okay, I think that looks pretty good, so let's see how it looks in motion. Then I'll see if the corners need any help. Looks like they kinda do. No, this isn't a corner problem. This is over here. Yeah, the folds right there are not lining up very well. So I just gotta fix that. That's not a corner issue. That is just a small rigging issue. And it'll look better once I get it right. Looks like I do need to, like, attach a few things, like, to her armpit here, for example. But mostly I think it's okay, so let's just attach this to her armpit. And that is the only problem I see here. I was just zooming in on one. I will check the other arm a little bit more directly. I just find it a little bit easier to zoom in here. I like to start zoomed out and then zoom in so I can really see things. And what the heck is that? Because it's not this. I see. Okay. Well, that cuff looks terrible, so I will start by fixing that. And indeed, it looks like that's gonna properly cover up the point of the sleeve that was poking through, so... Okay, I'm gonna have to untangle vertices here a little bit. Let's move the button too. Yeah, and the arm is exposed and everything. I can't really have that. So we're gonna have to tame this quite a lot, I think. No, that's fine, I can do that. I'm gonna have to be careful when I make this floppy, aren't I? I do wish that I made the arm a little bit longer. Good notes for the future. Definitely give yourself a lot of extra breath. Like, I thought I was giving myself a fair amount, but... physics are too much fun. I want things to flop about everywhere. So, I gotta give myself space to do that. And then I'll unhold that a bit. I'm pretty sure that button is like way in the wrong place now. So I'm gonna have to just basically grab this whole thing and push it over here. And I think I will change the angle of it a bit too, since I did move that sleeve a lot. A little bit unfortunate, but you gotta do what you gotta do to cover up disembodied body parts. Cannot let them show. That would just be unfortunate. Alright. Is any other things showing when they shouldn't? Yeah, I see that the back part of the sleeve is showing a little bit here. Push him on down. Should definitely not be clipping through anything. Definitely not. Okay, and here the cuff needs to come up a little. Because right now it's clipping through her arm and, you know, I just said, cannot have the clipping. Not allowed. So says me, the artist. Yeah, this poor little back part didn't line up very well on any of them. That's okay. That's why you gotta manually go in and fix your corners sometimes. The interpolation does its best, but it's not always right. Okay, and then just another rigging problem here that I didn't see the first time. Just this little guy. Not in a good way. It's okay, sometimes the corners can help me spot issues I didn't even know were there. Yep, and it looks like I might have done it again here. No, I didn't, but the cuff. That might actually be bad, because I had to adjust the cuff in the corners already. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, this is supposed to attach a little bit higher up. The reason I say it's a little bit unfortunate is because now that I have a value set in the corner, the interpolation will not take over. It'll use the value that I have set in the corner, so I'm gonna have to manually adjust. So that'll make my life just a little bit harder. And it's always a little bit unfortunate when I do something to make my life a little bit harder. Everyone does it, but man, is it unfortunate. Should have checked things a little bit more closely, but I got excited. It's okay. I can forgive myself. Alright, let's go attach this now. And once again, I will have to be a little bit careful not to make sure that I do not expose her wrist there. Gotta be very, very careful. Okay, how is this? Okay, looks like I didn't adjust the... Oh no, I did, didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't adjust the cuff on that one, so the interpolation was able to take over. Man, this lower right corner is just having all the problems. I don't like the way that the elbow is meeting her upper arm here, so I will adjust that manually as well. Actually, kind of like that in a few layers. This is why you gotta check your corners. Always. 'Cause a lot of the times they do have problems that can be a little bit elusive. Okay, and here needs to be attached to her armpit again. A little piece hanging out there. There we go. Like, just having a little bit of trouble getting comfortable here. Okay, but I think that should be fine. Let me go check out the other arm here. Okay, looks like there's a couple of, well, one point where the armpit isn't properly connected, but other than that, okay. And then we have here where the cuff is not on the hand, and I probably just need to pull this a little bit further to the right. Actually, looking at it here, I think I need to. Yeah, that point right there, that little valley here, a little bit too deep in. Because I think her arm kind of goes like this. So I want to make sure that her arm, the theoretical arm that I did not draw, is inside of the sleeve. Very important. Her arm should be in her clothes. Very much so. Alright, I'm just gonna check the cuff on all the angles here, and... Yep, that seems good. Let's move things around again and see if anything jumps out at me as being very blatantly wrong. Okay, see a little bit of elbow sticking out there. Okay, but everything else seems alright. So that side wasn't as bad. Yeah, this side cooperated with me a little bit more. Thank you, other side. I appreciate it, because you know what this means? It means you get to be a pendulum now. I'm just like, yay! Yay! Add physics. Let's go. So this is going to be shirt, sleeve, basic. I will leave the values default for now, and I will just stick this on here. A 100's been working for me, so I'll stick with that. There we go. Alright, and we'll just keep her floating arms for now. Yeah, look at them go. That's definitely some nice little bit of floppiness there. Now all that's really left to do is to make the parts that I really want to flop around really flop around. So let's do it. I think you're fine. So now we will add the floppy part. Shirt, sleeve, floppy physics. There we go. So this I'm not going to do a bunch of stuff with. You know, the coat, this part is so huge. Why do I not have it collapsed? There we go. Actually, hold on. Now that I think about it, I really need to check to make sure that her shirt doesn't clip through. Ah, shoot. It does. Okay, we gotta go back over here for a second. Because I forgot to check to make sure that this arm wasn't gonna clip through her coat. And it does, so I gotta do something about that. Oh no! I think it'll be okay. And let me add the coat collar too, just so I can clearly see this. I will just do the super basics to keep it in there. It doesn't look like it was clipping that much. So it should be okay. But nonetheless, I want to make sure that the sleeve never clips through the coat, so anytime it looks like it's going to, I have to adjust the coat too. Almost forgot. Almost forgot. Okay, that should be fine. I move her body around. Oh, I still get a little bit of clipping somewhere. Still get a little bit of clipping. Let's see what's happening. There should definitely not be any clipping. Actually, that's a bit weird, because I don't see any clipping here, so I'm wondering if, there's still a little bit of clipping with one of the other physics. I will check them. I will check them all. Fingers definitely won't because they just move fingers. Wrist shouldn't. Yep. No, this all seems okay. Yeah, right there. Right there. Let me reset all my parameters and... Oh, actually... it doesn't. Okay. In that case, it's probably here where it happens. Although, no, So it's a combination of both, huh? I see. So it's just when all of them kind of come together. That's actually kind of bizarre to me. Why would that happen? I have them all set to properly cover the coat in their respective areas. Looks like it's in very, very specific circumstances, so I think I'll be fine. I'm just not going to worry about it. But it is a bit annoying that I unfortunately do kind of have to pay attention to that. Okay, well, I will hide these layers for now, collapse the coat, and we'll hide the coat while I work on the last little bit here. I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll ever properly clip. Anyway, flopping time. So all I really want to do here is put a little bit of physics on the little peaks and valleys here. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch the inner parts. This is literally just these and then the cuff. That is all that's going to happen here. So the parts that I just think need a little bit of extra flopping. I think you could use a little bit of extra flopping too. Maybe you too. Anything that I just think could swing around a bit more and have a bit more fun. As you can see here, I'm not really adjusting the top, only the bottom. We're just gonna make it flop. Okay, and yep, I think that's all I want. So let's go do the other arm. I'm just gonna try to run through this real quick. So that this way I have a bit of time to actually work on her belt. So once again, just focused on the bottom there. We're just gonna make this flop. Especially this part that hangs out. We'll see if it needs a third parameter in order for the proper amount of flopping that I want. And I actually do feel like this back part is pretty loose. So that's why I'm moving it a little bit too. Just a little bit. Okay, that should be good. Let's do the right. This is the only real peak there, so that's the only part that I really feel the need to move on that layer. There we go, and cuff time. This time it should be easy to keep her arm covered because I'm only moving the bottom. Or, I mean, at the very least, just only moving the bottom a lot and moving the rest of it not quite as much. Perfect. Yep. Okay, no, I forgot to move this part too. This part needs to move a little bit too. There we go. I think this will make for some very nice extra wiggle. And honestly, just thinking about it makes me happy. Maybe I'm just easy to please, but personally, I think it's good to be happy when you can. Okay, that seems good. Now let's do the up and down. So this will, once again, just kind of squish the peaks a little bit. Push them all... push them all downward. I guess they're less squished on this arm, since this arm is just kind of hanging at her side. But nonetheless, they go down a little bit, and that's all. Downward and kind of inward. So I just kind of want to push this guy like this. And this guy kind of like this. Actually, I kind of think it'll look better like this. And the whole thing will come down a little bit. Yeah, just something like that. I think that'll look pretty good. I'll just go ahead and do this guy too before I check things. I'll just check them all together. Just zoom through it. And then see if I want a third parameter for the cuff or not. Here we go. Squish. And squish. And squish. And blop. There we go. The sound effects are important. Helps give me a better idea of how things should be flopping. It unironically does help. Don't underestimate the power of doing the sound effects. It's like when you're drawing faces and you make the same face. It just makes it easier to draw. It helps. Try it. I'm not even kidding here. It helps. Alright, let's take a look at him. Yep, that's some wiggle. Look at him wiggle. Alright, one more. And I'm hoping with as small as the movements here are that the corners will be kind to me. I mean, I always hope this. Always do. Sometimes it even works out that way. And when it does, it's pretty great. Always makes it happy when it works out like that. Who doesn't want things to work out in their favor? Okay, and now... Now, just this guy. I like these kinds of little subtle physics because they're so easy to make. They go by so fast, but I feel like they add a lot to the model. When it comes to time investment versus payoff, they are one of the best. Definitely. Like, there is no doubt in my mind. Let's look at that. You know, the first one took me like, what, over an hour? Probably closer to an hour and a half, and this one took less than 10 minutes, I think. Alright, let's move it around, and let me collapse my shirt physics here. Yeah, there we go. That'll be nice and floppy. Unfortunately, it does look like the corners need a little bit of help. Like, this one got super distorted again, and the back parts aren't lining up, and the kind of usual suspects here. I gotta untangle that. That looks really nasty. Just got like super duper compressed. Okay. And once again, I will check them just one at a time here. I'll go ahead and zoom in on the other end and on the other arm and adjust those parts once I'm done with this one. This is actually a rigging problem here. I see that there's like a dark shadow in there. And he fell out of the sleeve. And thus it was making this part fall out of it too. And I don't think it looks very good. I was hoping that adjusting it on the other turn would fix it, but not quite. So I just gotta fix it manually. Alright, that's some good wiggling. This side actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think that side's actually okay. So, I think this is good. Let's go ahead and create the pendulum. And you will be shirt, sleeve, floppy. Just do the basics there, and then we'll just make it move around a bit. I know this isn't really the intended way to make the physics work, but it's the one that I have found works most consistently for me, just because I do not always directly move the nodes. And so I just find, you know what? If the physics won't physic, I'll just move it myself and make them physic. I will force them to physic. They must. Thus demands me. Okay, yeah, and I don't actually think the cuffs need another physic. I think this is plenty. Oh yeah, and I should also check it with the code on. Okay, yeah, we do have just a little bit of peaking there, so I do need to adjust the shape of the coat here. Just a little bit, but, you know, it's gotta be done. It's gotta be done. I cannot let the coat be, or her sleeve be poking out through her coat. That's just nonsense. Alright. Let her flop about here. I'll go ahead and turn the other layers back on. Yeah, I like it. Look at that. Everything looks so much nicer now. Okay, let's let her have a waist again. We're gonna leave the head off for now. I don't need it right now, so it's fine. And let's see, it is getting a bit late. Do I stop here, or do I attempt to do her waist? You know what? I'm feeling ambitious. Let's do it. Let's try to get her waist. Okay, I'm gonna have to hide the arm for this. So now then, what do I want to do? I think this will be... Let's just call this skirt waist. Or do I do the belt separately? I think I do the belt separately, so yes. I will call this skirt waist physics. And all I'm gonna do is I'm going to take like this top part of her skirt here. Once I find it. There it is. And we're just gonna physics this just a little. Not gonna do anything serious, just a little physic. This is textured enough that I do think I want to move the top part of the skirt itself as well. And then I do kind of want to move this part too. I'm debating on how much exactly. Let's actually straight up hide the belt for now. Okay, how much... You know what? This area is gonna need its own physic. Definitely. So, I'm just gonna do the waist here. And for that, I'm gonna include, like, all the cloth parts. So that'll be the loops here. Or do I want to do the loops with the belt? Probably makes more sense to do the loops with the belt, so we'll just keep this very simple and just do the waist. The waist and the very, very top of the skirt itself. Oops. There's just enough texture in there that I want to get it. Okay, and then going up, this part will kind of dip down a bit and it'll squish inward. This is going to be a pretty subtle physic, but I think it'll make a difference. Okay, and I think that's all that's really necessary here. Although, wait, did I forget to get the skirt on this? I did. Okay. I will still get the skirt just a touch. Just enough to get the texture. There we go. Let's see. Over here, it's kind of clipping into her shirt a little bit too much. So I gotta pull that out just a touch. Is it happening over on the other side here? Nope, it is not. And then I don't like the way the skirt is moving right there, so let's just poke this back slightly. Oh, was this always hanging off the edge? Guess so. Okay. Looks a bit strange, but I will trust the original. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's give it a pendulum. Do I want to put it with the mesh group? I don't think so. So I'll go ahead and put it back up at the top with all of the shirt physic. I just don't trust mesh groups. So I'm afraid of putting physics directly in them. So this one I might have to give a pretty extreme push in order for it to be really visible, since it's such a tiny little guy, so we'll move him out 120. Give him just a little bit extra. There we go. That's all I really wanted there. Do I think I can do the belt in 30 minutes? I don't know, but I suppose I will try. Let's see what I got here. Skirt. No, we'll just call this belt. No, definitely skirt belt. Or waist. Yes, waist belt. Doesn't really matter what I call it, but I want to be able to identify it easily. Oh man. I'm just realizing how much I'm gonna have to move for this. Nah. If I try to do it now, I'm gonna rush like super hardcore. So, that's okay. Let me give her her arm and her head back here. And I think that is where I will leave it today, and next time we will do some belt physics. And then probably the rest of her coat. The belt might take a little while though. Just because there's some stuff that's gonna be fun to flop. I get to do the big long belt here, and then there's lots of little things going on there. So all right. But look at that sleeve. That is fantastic. I am very pleased with it. I mean, if I really try to move it around, it'll expose her arm there. But I do not think this will ever actually happen. I might need to poke at it a little bit more now that I look at it, but This requires some pretty extreme movements in order to get it to clip. Because I've been able to get it to clip up here and then show off her little stub there. But I have to be trying pretty hard. I'm pretty sure that won't happen naturally. Because natural movement is going to be more like this. But still, I might check that area over there. But I think that will be a job for next time. And I think this is where I will stop for today. Forcing myself to stop a bit just so I don't rush some important physics, because I'm gonna have fun with her belt. But anyway, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.